Is it filming? Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or your first video here, I don't know. Welcome if you're new here, welcome either way. I am in a different location from when I normally film. I'm at my parents' house in my old bedroom, and this seems to be about the right height shelf for filming a video, and I am very late at filming all of my wrap-ups. So I thought while I'm staying here and Christmas is in like 5 days, I'm going to go back to August of this year, and I've written out everything I read then. So the way I do these wrap-ups is I go from any books I didn't finish, then from 1 star up to 5 stars, so I end with the books I liked the most. And it was a relatively even split, I think, throughout the month. So first of all, I will go through my DNFs. First one of those being Auggie's Summer Break. So this was a LGBT comic that I picked up. I think I got it for free as part of my Scribd subscription, and this one started pretty nice. It was following these two young boys in about sort of secondary school, I think, age, and how they were kind of developing a crush on each other, relationship, and one of the boys was blind, and then it just went off the rails so fast, and I was like, whoa, I did not expect this. I don't really like where this story is going. I don't like the changes to the characters, and so I put that one down. Next, I have the utterly uninteresting and unadventurous tales of Fred the Vampire Accountant. So this one, the name got me. I saw it on Audible and I thought I'd give it a go. If this had been one constant narrative, I feel like I could have really gotten on board with this, but because of the fact that it was kind of split up into short stories, it was just really dull. And I know that, like, it's kind of in the name. I mean, uninteresting and unadventurous and accountant are all in the title of this, but it didn't really conclude any of the stories very well, and it just skipped ahead, and yeah, I really lost interest in this. And the last DNF I have is At My Mother's Knee and Other Low Joints by Paul O'Grady. I was very sad to hear that he'd passed away. Our LGBT book group decided to do one of his autobiographies as our book group pick for that month or the month before, I can't quite remember. And he's done several, this one being his first one, and it didn't really work for me. First of all, it didn't have an audiobook associated with it, and it would have been a nicer read for me if it had had an audiobook, especially if it was narrated by himself. And I think his quite dry humour comes across much better spoken than it does in written form. And also it fit into that category of memoirs that are, here's a bunch of stories about my life, which don't tend to work for me. I much more wanted to hear about his drag persona, Lily Savage. I wanted to hear more about the creation of her and a bit more of his later life. So I would be interested in picking up or reading the other memoirs that I have from him. But this one just didn't work for me. And then on to, I'm just looking down because I have what I read this month down here, because obviously I couldn't bring my entire library with me in order to make these videos. So then we have my 1 stars, and so I had a re-listen to the My Dad Wrote a Porno podcast, and through listening to that podcast they read through the Belinda Blinked series books 1 to 6, so I count that as being read. So I re-listened to season 1 twice and then went through the rest of the series. The books themselves are not good, hence why I give them 1 star, but I do find them incredibly enjoyable. Skipping up to 3 stars now, I have... oh, the light just went off. I'm trying to film with the light that I have in my old room, but this light keeps flickering, so sorry if that changes what the video looks like. But skipping up to 3 stars, I have My Perfect Boss, which is a gay comic that I picked up on one of these like Infinity Scroll comic apps. I thought it was fine. it's not really stuck with me. I tend to just pick up gay comics without hearing that much about them so that I can just give them a try. But yeah, this one, fine. And then skipping up again to 5 stars. So I reread Kill the Farm Boy 3 times in August. It really became a comfort read for me over the summer. It's one of these fantasy novels that pokes fun at fantasy tropes, and we're following quite a generic setup, and then it goes a bit off the rails and does its own thing. So we're following a teenage boy. He is, oh, there we go. Let there be light. We're following a teenage boy. He is designated, he's a farm boy. He is designated the chosen one by a pixie, and he goes off to seek his destiny. An accident happens very close to the start of the book, and a bunch of other characters have to get together in order to fix what has happened. It's a really enjoyable read, but it's definitely, because of the fact that it's meant to be a humour book, I would look into whether or not this humour would be your style before I would recommend picking it up. Next, I read The Princess Bride. I'm a huge fan of the movie, and I thought the book was excellent. I think that having seen the movie first, I think that you could tell that they were really passionate about the book and what it did, and it was just excellent and really nostalgic from watching the movie. And the plot of that one is a young boy is ill and gets read a story by his grandfather, and what he does, and in the story we are following a bye light. We are following a couple who fall in love at this farm. The boy goes away to seek his fortune and gets killed overseas. She locks herself away in her grief and gets proposed to by the prince of the land, and she is essentially pestered into taking up his proposal, and as she is going to join him, she gets kidnapped, and then hijinks ensue. It was a hugely fun book and movie. And next, another podcast one is Mostly Void, Partially Stars. So this is a book that covers, I think, the first season of the Welcome to Night Vale podcast. I'm a really, really big fan of the podcast. It's presented as a radio show for a town, fictional town called Night Vale in the US, and essentially everything that happens there, like the paranormal, is normal in this town, but it's presented through the lens of just a radio show presenting on normal, everyday paranormal occurrences that are going on, and you get to find out more about about returning characters and their individual plots. I just really enjoy it. I also like the fact that Cecil, the narrator of the radio show, is queer, and he ends up in a relationship with a guy called Carlos, and their relationship is just super, super sweet. And there you have it, a really quick wrap up. I didn't read that many books, but I would love to hear about something that you've read recently, or not so recently, I don't know. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.